What is up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, which means that's time for another live Q&A all about dropshipping on different marketplaces. My name is Paul J Lipsky. I was about to say my name is eBay. I don't know. My brain's a little fried, I guess. We're going into quarter four. I mean, it is quarter four right now, but we're really getting into the thick of it soon. So that means that we are busy adding more products to our stores, getting everything set up, the systems set up so that when quarter four really hits, we can make the most amount of money possible. So it's kind of a busy time of the year, but that's okay. I mean, a lot of resellers, a lot of businesses, in fact, even traditional brick and mortar stores will report that they make most of their profit these last 3 months. And some actually report they make all of their profit during the last 3 months, and the rest of the year they're just kind of breaking even, which is pretty remarkable when you think about that and how much money can be made during these few months. Of course, as drop shippers, we don't just have to worry about making money just 3 months of the year. We're able to, because our overhead is so low, we don't have to worry about only making money 3 months out of the year. We'll make money all year long, but we can really maximize our profits these last 3 months. Now, one thing I want to talk about before I got to Q&A was something interesting that I've noticed is I really feel like this year, probably because of the state of the economy and inflation and just in general, people spending less money than they have in other years. You know, spending is down a bit in certain categories of items. I think what we're seeing is that a lot of websites are pushing out earlier and earlier deals. I mean, I've been on some websites and they're already mentioning Black Friday. They're calling it like early Black Friday deals, and we're only October 11th. We have over a month to go before Black Friday. Amazon's having a Prime Day 1 month before Black Friday. So I think a lot of them are really pushing hard to get as much volume in sales as they can these last 3 months. All of that is good for us as dropshippers and resellers. All of that's good because what that does is that tells people, that kind of like teaches people to buy more products online. And that shouldn't be something that's underestimated, because the more people shop online, the more they are going to continue to shop online. In addition to that, as these different websites roll out more and more deals, that translates through to our business, because if our suppliers' products are on sale, then our products on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, they can be on sale as well that same day because of our repricers, which is only going to drive up traffic. In addition to that, we always see that if Amazon, for instance, has Prime Day going on, or another deal like for Black Friday, which you'll see across every website, you'll see traffic online increase everywhere, including eBay and Facebook Marketplace. So it doesn't quite make sense. Even if you don't discount your items at all on eBay and Facebook Marketplace, when your supplier's on sale, if Amazon's having a sale, there's just an increase in online shopping across the board. It's that big of an effect. So you'll probably see during Prime Day a bump in sales, even on eBay and Facebook Marketplace, and of course during Black Friday. But you have to be ready for it. I mean, now's the time. If you haven't started doing drop shipping, you can. That's the beautiful thing about drop shipping. You don't have to wait for your products to arrive to your warehouse. You don't have to send them into Amazon FBA. If you find products today, list them up for sale, people can start buying them today, and they'll buy them tomorrow, and they'll buy them on Black Friday and between Black Friday and Christmas. So huge opportunity right now with drop shipping. A lot of other businesses, it's kind of cutting it close. I think it might be a little bit too late to start other ones to really take advantage of quarter four. But with drop shipping, it's not too late, because we can move so quickly and get products into our store so quickly compared to any other business model out there. So huge opportunity right now. Do not squander it, guys. This is a really critical time. Is UPC or EAN important on eBay listings? If we have them, we will include them. If we don't, we just put N/A for not available. So we're moving in now to the Q&A kind of section. I'll pop up any questions that I see and do my best to answer them for you guys. Is TrackerBot still recommended for uploading tracking numbers onto eBay? I don't use AutoDS, so I just want to know the best way to do it. I have not used TrackerBot in a number of years. TrackerBot is a software that will take tracking numbers from your email and automatically upload them to eBay. I used them for years, but a couple of years ago, I stopped using any sort of API software because at that time, eBay seemed to be cracking down on users that were using API software and punishing them by lowering their listings in the search results. We're not really seeing that anymore, which is pretty interesting. And we haven't seen that for a while now. So this Q4, I'm actually experimenting and I have turned on some API software and I'm trying it out because, like I said, we're not seeing people being punished. And I've talked to a lot of other sellers who are using API software now and have not reported any significant repercussions for doing that. So I'm testing it out myself. I'm letting you guys know that now, and I'll be reporting back. I've already been using it and the results have been positive, but I want to wait a couple of months to really see how it works out. And this is part of my plan for Q4 as well, because with API software, you can automate a lot more. You can make it so that orders can be automatically ordered for you in some circumstances. So there's huge advantages to it. We've just been timid about using API software for the reasons I mentioned before. But like I said, it seems to be better now, but I'm testing that out for you guys and we'll report back as soon as I figure it out. I'm pretty happy with the results so far, but I'm not ready to give my final kind of conclusion on it, but that will be coming really soon. Gal says, what should I do? Guys, let me know in the comment section. Actually, let me know if you're watching this right now, if you're drop shipping, if you're using API software, if you're not using API software, and what has been your experience with that to date. Like I said, I've talked to a lot of sellers already about it. Gal says, what should I do when every single product I find, some are selling it for the same price the supplier has, like Walmart or Amazon? So what Gal's done is they've done some product research. They found some items that are selling well on eBay, it sounds like, but other sellers are selling it for the same price as Amazon or the same price as Walmart on eBay. There's a few reasons that might be happening. The first thing I'll say is I don't pay a lot of attention, really much attention at all, to my competitors on eBay because I'm looking to differentiate myself through my titles, my optimization of my listings, and just through continually adding new products. I don't let the competition determine if my item is going to sell or not. In a way I do. If it's selling well from another competitor, then I'm going to try it. I'm not going to focus on the price of the item. If it sells at the price that I sell my items at, then I'll continue to sell it. If it doesn't, then I'll just delete it from the store. That's kind of a way to streamline the business, right? Because I'm only marking up my items by a certain percentage, all of them, even if it's sold before or even if it hasn't sold, I just use a flat percentage markup. And if it sells at that price, great. If it doesn't, then we just delete it and remove it from the store. Just simple as that. Now, just to kind of, looks like my microphone is super loud. Sorry about that. So just to kind of answer the question, why are, sorry about if the mic was too loud. How can they list it for the same price? There's a few reasons that might be happening. A lot of them might actually be doing like online arbitrage, where they're buying it from Walmart or Amazon, having it delivered to their house and during a sale, and then selling them at the normal price on eBay later, but they're still going to make a profit because they bought it when it was discounted. There's a lot of that. And there's a lot of people doing some sketchy stuff that's just borderline, if not illegal. But you don't see a ton of that. It's mostly the OA, online arbitrage stuff. Do you think it is smart to put the brand name on your listings on eBay and Facebook? I don't anymore. My old suggestion was to use the brand name when it would be a brand that people would actually be interested in buying, and otherwise deleting the brand name. But across the board now, we are pretty much just removing all brand names because one, it makes it easier for people to price shop. And two, there's always issues or potential issues with Vero, the Verified Rights Owner program, certain brands not wanting you to sell them. So we are careful and we don't sell those brands, but as a backup, if we just don't include the brand name at all, it's going to help us a lot more too. Let me quickly see something here. Okay. What is the best way to check if you are getting correct payouts on Facebook? This is a little bit difficult. I have not honestly found a streamlined way to do this. It is fully manual. So in other words, Facebook, they're going to pay you out and you have to check that that's accurate. Sometimes they miss payments. But what I do find is that they always eventually get caught up. So even if there's a delay, they'll get caught up. And I've contacted them before saying, hey, I haven't gotten this payment. I contacted them several times. I got like no answer. And then all of a sudden it was like on their time when it was convenient for them, they sent the payout. So that happens very, very rarely. It used to happen more, but they've gotten better. So I just think it's a matter of waiting sometimes. And it's better to do that than try to just send your messages to an inbox that's not checked or something. TV Box says, so we mentioned before about using auto ordering with something, and you can do that with AutoDS. So TV Box says, if I use AutoDS and their auto ordering fulfillment to drop ship from Amazon to eBay, will they be able to upload a valid working tracking number from Amazon to keep my account safe? Yeah, so this is one of the concerns if you are drop shipping from Amazon or trying to, is that Amazon doesn't always provide a usable tracking number. A lot of the tracking numbers they will give you are their own logistics company, right? The blue Amazon trucks that drive around town and drop off packages. That's not UPS, that's not FedEx, that's Amazon. So you can't upload those Amazon tracking numbers into eBay. You need like UPS or FedEx. So there are workarounds for that if you do get an Amazon tracking number. And AutoDS, if you use their auto fulfillment service, they automatically implement those workarounds. You just have to go into the settings and turn it on for that supplier. So go into your settings, go to your suppliers, which should be the first thing that comes up in your settings. Go to Amazon as your supplier, and then go to auto fulfilling section of it, and it will say, do you want to use our tracking numbers? And you want to select that. That way they are going to use their tracking numbers for you. TV Box says, does your eBay dropshipping course show you how to scale to $2,000 to $3,000 in profit very quickly while being semi-automated? Yes, TV Box is talking about my eBay dropshipping course. I'm never, ever going to make any sort of promises about profit that you can make or that you will make from taking my course. What I can tell you is that I'm showing you everything I did to create a eBay dropshipping business from nothing and take it all the way up to where I was making, my first year over $10,000 profit a month by the end of my first year. I show you how to do that. I show you how my students, some of them have gone on to make $2,000 to $3,000 in profit a month very quickly. But, everyone's different. I'm never going to promise anyone results. I'm never going to promise anyone a get rich quick scheme. But I promise you, I'm not holding anything back in that program. It's the same program that all my successful students took that were able to scale up to $2,000 to $3,000 in profit, like you said. What is needed right away to start making money quickly with eBay dropshipping, tools and apps? So you definitely need an eBay account, obviously. If you have one already, I would use that account. Then you need something to do product research. That I would suggest getting Zeek Analytics for that. Zeek Analytics will help you do product research. It's not strictly necessary if you're on a budget, but it will save you a ton of time and you will find more products with it than as opposed to doing it manually. But you could theoretically do it manually. And then the other thing you need is an account with AutoDS, which will help you with listing products and repricing and restocking products as well. So that at a bare minimum is what you need. Like I said, Zeek Analytics, if you're trying to really scale up quickly, would be recommended as well. And my affiliate links for all of those are in the description down below if you want to check those out. Renzo says, can two VAs work on the same Facebook account at the same time using the same IP address to get more done? I have not had two VAs work on my store at the same time because my system that I've set up is I only have one VA per store. But I don't see why not. I've been logged into my Facebook account while my VA has been logged in, and we're using the same IP address. So for that reason, in my experience, it has worked with no issues. So these virtual assistants, we hire them from countries like the Philippines. We, these businesses we're running, these dropshipping businesses, they're all online. So you can access them from anywhere in the world. You can run them from anywhere in the world. So we can hire a virtual assistant from like the Philippines, have them work on our stores, and we don't have to deal with the logistics of hiring an employee in the United States, have to worry about all the tax implications of that, the insurance implications, or all the stuff we have to do business-wise. We don't have to worry about that. And, we could pay them a fair wage. That's still a good deal for us for the work that they do. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so that's what's great about virtual assistants. But the way I used to use virtual assistants is I would hire basically as many as I could. I thought the more the better. And in many ways that is true, like the more the better. But what I found was that it was getting very confusing. It was getting unmanageable for me, confusing for the virtual assistants. I would have like two virtual assistants doing product research for one eBay store, another two fulfilling orders, another one doing customer service, and like no one was in charge. So it's just like massively confusing because they weren't talking to each other. So I decided to streamline it and have one virtual assistant per store. They know how to do everything. And that way it's all in their head. It's all organized. So they might be placing orders and be like, oh wait, I'm not supposed to place this order because this customer already asked to cancel that order. You know what I mean? So it's more organized in their head. That's the way I suggest that you do it. And if they don't have enough time to do everything and continue to do product research, then you can hire a virtual assistant to help that assistant. So the original one, that will be kind of like the manager, and you hire someone to help them. And the manager will delegate tasks to them so that the manager is still in charge and still has everything in their head as to what to do. Okay. But that's like some higher level stuff. But it is helpful during Q4 when things are going to get busier. If you do have a virtual assistant doing most of the stuff for you, and there's only one of them, you might want to ask them if they think they're going to need help during Q4, and then you can hire them an assistant, like a seasonal help type of thing. Oh man, Dark Music says, what do you do if the customer sees the Amazon gift receipts, scans the barcode, and finds out the real original price and leaves me a nasty comment about they were scammed? Wow. So let's unpack that. So when you're drop shipping from suppliers, a lot of people are afraid that the customer is going to figure out that you paid less for the item than they did. Now, a lot of suppliers that you drop ship from will not include the price of the item in the box. Home Depot doesn't do that. Walmart doesn't do that, for instance. Amazon doesn't do that as long as you, during checkout, choose gift receipt. Then they'll get just a gift receipt and it won't include the price in there. Now, Even if it does include the price, I used to dropship a lot from Lowe's, and Lowe's included the price. Very few customers ever look at it. They ever notice that the item is cheaper from the supplier's website. People are just happy they got their item. They rip it open. They're happy with the item, and that's it. Of the customers who do complain, we do have scripts that we send them to kind of alleviate the tension, and very rarely that doesn't work. And then we just give them a partial refund or have them return the item, and that's it. But the number of times we have to do that is very, 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 very low. Most customers just don't care. Now, when it comes to Amazon, again, they include a gift receipt in the box, doesn't have the price on it. I guess I've never even noticed. Dark Music says there's a barcode on there and that you could scan that barcode and see what the original price was. I wasn't even aware of that. I think that's a lot of work, and I doubt any buyers are ever going to do that. Sure, they could go on Amazon and look up how much the item is now, but again, that's a lot of work, and I highly, highly doubt that they would do that because I haven't seen it done. Can you use Costco for a supplier? Yes, you can. I don't have a lot of experience with Costco. I do know they only allow you to ship to, it is difficult because they only allow you to ship to a certain number of addresses per month, I believe. So I'm not sure of the way around that because I don't use Costco myself as a supplier. There are a ton of suppliers out there. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on all of them. I'm an expert on a few of them, and that's all you need. When you're starting out, you don't want to overcomplicate things. Like, start with one supplier, learn how to master drop shipping from them, and then you could add more suppliers in the future. We have Kared here. What is up? Says, do you use videos at all with listings on Facebook Marketplace and shops? Do you think it will be necessary to post video listings in 2023 to help make sales? As always, you are amazing. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, so what Kared's talking about is when you're looking at different items and looking at the product images, a lot of times there's videos of those items. You see this a lot on Amazon. You're seeing it increasingly on all suppliers' websites, but I think it really started on Amazon. And usually the video is just someone turning the product around in their hand so you can see it, maybe showing off the features. Now, I've done a very brief amount of research on this, and it definitely helps conversions, but it's difficult for us as dropshippers to bring that over and to actually use the videos ourselves. I don't stress out about it. And when I say it improves conversions, I wasn't looking at whether it's helping eBay sellers or Facebook sellers. I just saw an article about it, about why more websites are using videos in addition to images of the product. And it's because that has helped them sell that product more. I don't know how it translates to Facebook or eBay. I would imagine it would be the same, but for right now, I'm not stressing out about it. I'm just using whatever the software is able to bring over for us. I'm definitely not filming those videos myself because that's too much time for something like dropshipping. I'm just not going to do that. Okay, Lorenzo says, someone suggests you can use eBay for fulfillment to Facebook. Do you recommend it? If not, why not? So basically, Lorenzo's saying you're going to sell products on Facebook Marketplace or shops, I guess. And when they sell, you're going to buy them from eBay and have eBay ship them to the customer on Facebook. I'm hesitant about it. I get asked this question a lot. I'm always hesitant to recommend it. If you're a new seller, I would definitely recommend against it. It's something you can explore as maybe a more advanced seller. eBay's, it's great because there are a lot of deals. There are a lot of cheaper items on there. But the problem is that there's limited stock, one. So items are going to sell out quickly. Second problem is that you don't always know who you're buying from. So if you're going to do it, make sure they have a lot of feedback and it's positive feedback as well. You don't want to run into issues where they're not going to ship out the item, or they're going to ship it poorly and it's going to be damaged, or they ship out counterfeit items. Okay, so those are kind of things I'm worried about when you're drop shipping from Walmart or Home Depot or Amazon. You're generally not going to run into that issue because it's a lot more reputable. You know it's going to ship out, you know it's going to be shipped well, and all of that. Hey, what's up, Jaron? Thanks for coming back. Lorenzo says, last week you said you would look into Arbiship. You can use them for fulfillment from Amazon, and they are cheaper than AutoDS. Yeah, so again, we were talking before about auto fulfillment. You can do that through AutoDS. There are other websites that do that. One of them is called Arbiship. I personally haven't used it, but I looked into it. It's a similar service where it will actually fulfill orders for you. And it does appear to be one of the cheaper ones out there. So that is an option. The benefit of something like AutoDS, even though it's more money, is that it's integrated already with your software, but Arbiship is cheaper. But I don't have any experience with it myself. But it looks solid. I read a lot of good reviews about it, talked to a couple of people that use it and have had good results. But haven't tried it myself. Angelique says, I had a bad experience with a virtual assistant. So I guess Angelique's looking to hire a new one. So she saw in one of my videos I recommended a VA service. She's probably talking about online jobs, but it looks like they charge a fee on top of what you pay the VA. Any additional virtual assistant resources? So that website, Online Jobs, I have it linked up in the description of this video. That's where I hire all my virtual assistants from. When you sign up to use that website, they do charge you a fee to be able to post up a job and to respond back to any potential candidates who message you. So you have to pay that fee in order to actually be able to communicate with a potential hire and actually to hire them. But it does come with it. Like if you don't find someone to fill the position, it does come, I think, with a 30-day money back guarantee on that. But even though they charge you a fee to use the service, a monthly fee, you can cancel it after you hire a VA, so you don't have to pay it every month. And it's still cheaper than hiring from anywhere else. Because with Online Jobs, you pay the monthly fee. I think it's like $50, $60. You pay $60. You hire a virtual assistant for like $3 to $4 an hour. And then you cancel Online Jobs. So you're still going to pay your VA directly their money. But you don't have to pay Online Jobs anything more. If you hire from another website like Upwork, with Upwork, you're generally going to be charged more per hour, something like $5 to $6 an hour. And the reason for that is because Upwork will continue to take a cut of the VA's money every single time you pay them forever. So that means the VA has to charge more in order for them to make the same amount. And they usually actually end up making less. So I really like Online Jobs. I pay that one-time fee and that's it. And then all the money after that gets paid directly to the virtual assistant and no one's taking a cut of it, which I much, much prefer that. Hey, what's up, Jib Jab in Pittsburgh? Mr. eBay to the rest of you. What's up, Mike? Mike says, for Home Depot, do you use a personal account or a Pro Extra account? I use a personal account. The Pro Extra account, it's actually been a number of years since I've looked into it. But from what I remember, there was really no benefit to getting the Pro Extra account. Let me look it up. Home Depot Pro Extra. I believe from what I remember, it like saved you money on like timber, or not timber. What am I talking about? Like building materials, like things you would buy in bulk if you were building stuff. So loyalty program. So it allows you to keep track of things better, which is some perks in here. You have volume pricing on things like, I think it was like paint and wood and stuff like that. I thought they would tell you right here. Paint rewards, yeah, volume pricing program. Let's see. Same thing. Bulk pricing. Yes, mostly on wood. Better delivery options. You can rent stuff. You could rent tools. It's not really stuff that would help us. Financing, which is not something I'm interested in doing at all. So from what I remember, there's really, really no benefit to the extra program. All right. Lucas says, is dropshipping still alive to try luck make it? I know it's a boring question and most common, but it would be nice to hear from you. Yes, it's still live to try luck make it. Not sure what you mean by that, but yeah, it's live. People are still doing it. People are still making money with it. New sellers are still coming in and being successful with it as well. We do it on eBay. We do it on Facebook Marketplace. There are other places you can do it as well. Shopify is a tough place to do it. I really like the marketplaces like eBay and Facebook Marketplace where there's already customers. You don't have to worry about driving traffic, which can get hard and expensive. So that would be my recommendation for beginners. Start easy, start at the marketplaces. Raider says, any advice for taxes? Anything we need to know being new? That's a big question, man. I'm definitely not equipped to answer this. I'm not going to give tax advice. That's my disclaimer for you guys. I'll tell you like what you can look into yourself though. First up is, there's two types of taxes. There's income tax and there's sales tax. So with income tax, you get taxed on the money you make. That's the money you profit. So if you do $1 million in sales, the way I understand it is if you do $1 million in sales, but your expenses were $1 million, you've made $0. So you're going to be taxed $0. Tax on that $0, which would be zero. Obviously, that's an extreme example. So if you do, let's say, $30,000 a month in sales, and you've profited $6,000 from that, that's what you get taxed on, the $6,000. Important there then is to keep records of everything, keep track of everything, so you know exactly what your expenses were, and you can report those so that you're not going to pay taxes on your expenses, and you're only going to pay taxes on your actual profit in there. Obviously, talk to a CPA about that. The other component of it is sales tax. Luckily, basically, eBay takes care of sales tax for you. They're going to collect it. They're going to send it to the states. So you don't have to worry about that for most states in there. But it's always good to get a sales tax permit so that you can become tax exempt where you're able to. You're able to get tax exempt on a lot of websites like Walmart and Home Depot. Angelique says, are niche stores better? I think yes, because you can gain a good following when you are niche specific on Facebook shops. What is your opinion? I don't like niche stores, Angelique. For the type of drop shipping we do, it is not necessary at all. A niche store is basically when you would say, hey, I'm only going to sell different types of tables and nothing else. A general store might be one where you sell tables and coffee mugs and water bottles and furniture and just anything and everything. The thing is, we are selling on a marketplace, eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Even if you're selling on a shop, you're still only really selling your items through Facebook Marketplace. People don't care what your store sells if it's a niche store on these marketplaces. What they're going to do is they're going to go on and they're going to search for table, a large wooden brown table. They see the one that they want and they purchase it, as long as it's the good price, the right product, and they might look at your feedback. They might not even look at your feedback. They don't care. They're not going to look at the rest of your items and see, oh, you know what, Angelique's selling not just tables, but also coffee mugs and water bottles. I don't trust her to sell tables. That's not what people think. That's not what people do. They see what they want and they buy it. Likewise, they're not going to look at your store and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy from this person because all they sell is tables. They must be an expert at selling tables. No, they don't care about that. Again, they're going to search for table. They're going to find the one they want and they're going to buy it no matter who's selling it, even if they're a niche store or a general store. So spread out the risk. Sell a large, wide variety of items, because if you do that, you really increase the chances that you're going to find an area that's going to do well for you. So in that regard, you can sort of niche down. And by that, I just mean if you're selling a wide variety of items and all of a sudden there's a water bottle that you sell that does really well, well, then sell more water bottles or sell ones that are similar to that water bottle. You want to take what works and do more of it. But I wouldn't call that a niche store, because you're still selling other products. You're still going to continue to list up other types of products. You're just kind of doubling down on what works within that general stores. Please smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We are well on our way to 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. So thanks, Sean, for the reminder. Spy says, my account got banned recently on eBay. I was using remote desktop in UK. Any suggestions? And so I see this a lot. People trying to sell on eBay or eBay UK when they don't live there, and they're trying to find like workarounds to do that with remote desktops or multi-login things. There are certainly ways to do that, but there's also a high chance it's going to fail. I mean, you're kind of playing with fire when you're doing it, when you're doing that sort of stuff. If you're here in the United States and you want to sell on eBay.com, no problem, because you're here already. If you're in UK and you want to sell on eBay UK, no problem, because you're there already. But when you try to like sneak in and use remote desktops, things like that, you're kind of playing with fire. There are people who are doing it. It is possible, but there's a high likelihood those accounts are going to get shut down. And that's just because eBay, they're trying to protect their marketplace. They're trying to avoid fraud. And they have ways to detect some of this stuff. So if they see, oh my gosh, someone's logging in, they're clearly using some sort of remote desktop or VPN, something over here is a bit sketchy. It might not have even been that. If you had some other fake information, like a fake credit card or a fake identity of any kind, like that's a huge red flag. And a lot of times you see that as well. People who are outside the United States trying to sell on eBay.com, they not only get these remote desktops, they're going to like create fake identities, like do all this sketchy stuff. And it's like, no wonder they get shut down. I'm not saying that's what you did, but I'm just kind of like spitting out different reasons I've seen people get banned. Basically, I mean, don't be sketchy. If you're here in the United States, you don't have to worry about it. But if you are and you try some of that stuff, just, you're playing with fire. Janes, I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right. What is the normal conversion rate on eBay, sales to views rate? I actually don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff. I look much more in the meta, like the bigger picture. I list up products. If they sell, I'll keep selling them. If they don't sell, I delete them after a month or two. That's it. I don't worry about anything else, because you can get so into the weeds and that stalls you out. The number one thing you should be doing is adding more products. And yes, you need to know like what are good products. But if you're getting into like these analytics and spending so much time on that you're ignoring the actual listing process, that's not good. I promise you, if you list up more products and you spend time with it and you start selling those products, you will get better. You'll start to see what types of items do well. And during your research, you'll see those items and you'll list up more of them. That is the most important thing to do. Like, we're looking at this big picture, looking at this in the meta. If you look at just like all these little details, it slows people down. And I've worked with students that, I've told them, given them assignments to do, and they come back to me a week later and say, what'd you do? And it's like, well, I started to list items, but then I wanted to look at my sell-through rate. I was checking out how many views this item was getting, and I was trying to figure out why it was getting a lot of views and wasn't getting any sales. And I was like, you spent hours doing that. You could have listed items up for sale, and that is so much better data that you could have been getting. So I always tell people, don't worry about that stuff. It's just way too like in the weeds. Smash the like button, says Omar. Can you go over tax? Oh, we talked about taxes a little bit. I live in Mexico, and I definitely can't help with that. You need to speak to an expert about that. Chrome extension, track about using a Chrome extension. I don't think it was API. Oh, maybe they updated it since I used it. Last time I used it, it was API. Maybe they have a non-API version. Let's take. Oh yeah, they do. I think I did know this, but it's been so long since I used them, I didn't actually look. It's pretty cool. Oh, this is a very, very old quote from me. And I definitely wasn't using the non-API versions. That's, kind of weird they're putting it on there. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I don't use it, so I can't speak of how well it's working these days. Jaron says, I've been trying to branch out from Walmart to find other suppliers with less competition on Facebook Marketplace. AliExpress has been good on the items, but shipping is killer and long, even on the US-based suppliers. Do you have any advice on different, better suppliers? And how do you deal with long shipping times? I'm not a fan of using AliExpress for eBay because of the long shipping times, and returns are a hassle, if not almost impossible sometimes with AliExpress sellers. And you're just not, a lot of times the items are just cruddy quality. So those three things are major red flags for me. But with Facebook Marketplace, it's like a hard no for me. And that'd be my advice. Do not use AliExpress for Facebook Marketplace ever. And that's because you can't set your shipping and handling time with Facebook Marketplace. So you have to upload a tracking number. You have to get something in the system within a few days. And with AliExpress, you're just not going to get that. So hard no for me, AliExpress. Do not use them. Use other suppliers. Jaron says, what is the minimum margin you recommend on eBay to stay safe regarding unexpected costs for returns, things like that? This depends on a lot of factors, actually. There is no rule of thumb for this. Inside my course, my eBay dropshipping course, I actually say, hey, if you fall under this category of sellers, this will be your margin. If you fall under this category of sellers, this will be your margin. It depends on if you have a store subscription with eBay, which would lower your fees, if you're paying sales tax, or if you're tax exempt, if you are in the United States, if you're not in the United States. What else? I guess those are the main ones. I thought I was forgetting one in there. But yeah, those are the main ones. If you get enough defects on your account, you fall below standard, it could increase your fees as well, though that's rare. So yeah, all those things have to be factored in, and has to be like an individual analysis. Unless you're, if you're a member of my eBay course, you can just go in and check that out, because I do the math for you. But otherwise, you kind of have to, figure it out for your own store. Team Xbox says, hey, Paul, I'm new to dropshipping. I want to know if I should start an eBay personal account or eBay business account. It actually doesn't matter, but I always recommend you go with an eBay business account because we've seen that there's a possibility that if you have a business account, you might get higher limits. Not like conclusive data on that, but there is a high correlation from what I've seen. And we are a business, so I would recommend if you can get it, to go business. Most people can get an eBay business account, but some people are like, oh, accidentally set up personal. You can switch it to business or something like that. Yeah, so I would recommend business if you can. You're looking kind of moist, Paul. Drink some water and tell people to smash the like button. It always makes fun of me for drinking too much water. eBay and Facebook Marketplace is still a great platform and a low-hanging fruit business model for new beginners, just like Patrick. Any ideas? No, I agree. It's such low overhead to start eBay dropshipping and Facebook Marketplace dropshipping. Really simple to start. So it's a great place for beginners to jump in and start selling some products. You get things listed up quickly. It's a low-hanging fruit. So you don't have to worry about investing inventory up front, buying it all, warehouse space, all that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Jib Jab said, I've been using Fulfilled by AutoDS with no problems, and I can use Amazon as a supplier because of this. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Thanks for telling me that. I remember in the beginning I did ask if people were using it. So it looks like you are using API and no issues there. It's pretty cool to see. New items, I will delete them after 2 months. After 1 month. If it's an item that is sold in the past and it stops selling, I'll give it 2 months of not selling and then I'll delete it. If I list up a new item and it doesn't sell for a month, I'll usually delete it after a month. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's up to you, Mike, what your minimum profit per sale should be. But like you said, when you have a VA that's doing everything or you have software that's doing it for you, even if you're making $1 profit, that's fine because it's not really taking any time. As long as you factor in the cost of a VA or software to auto order for you, then it doesn't matter $1 profit, right? But you want to try to get more than that, obviously. So the more the better. But it's a balance. Without that, you have to balance it. You have to see, okay, if I increase my profit, by how much will that decrease the number of sales that I get, right? And you have to find a balance in there for yourself. And it's hard because you also have to factor in your time. So you increase the price, you're going to get less sales, but you're going to make more money per sale, and you're going to spend less time in your business. I've gone both routes. For a while, I was selling really cheap items, selling a lot of them. It was a hustle. It was a lot of work. But I was a bit younger, even just a few years ago. I had a bit more, patience with it or excitement about it. So I was willing to put in that work to do that because I was making good money doing that. But after a time, it did start to burn me out, even with virtual assistants. So then we went with items that were more expensive and higher margins, and we did just as well, but spending less time on it because it balanced out. So these sales kind of the overall sale numbers went down, but the profit didn't really change because we were selling things at a higher margin and more expensive items. And because I was spending less on virtual assistants and software because we had less items and less orders to fulfill. Not to mention less time I was spending on the business as well. So it's definitely more of a balance, but selling the cheap items was a great way to start out, to really rapidly grow my business and get kind of like figure it all out really, really quickly. Is there a way to make a deal with suppliers like Walmart to get a business discount? No, big retail stores are not going to do that for you. You can do that with wholesale drop shipping. If you work with wholesale suppliers, you can get deals, especially the more you order from them. They will give you more and more discounts, or more and more the possibility of discounts. But with retail stores like Walmart, you're not going to get that. And even if you were one of the best drop shippers, you're still not doing enough volume probably for them to even notice. Like, they just do such high volume of sales, like Walmart and Home Depot and stuff like that. Gal says, I don't use API software. Cool. But I do use them, just no API software. Do we need an accountant for taxes? You don't need one. You could do it yourself, as long as you know what you're doing. Hey, what's up, Noah? It's been a while. Noah's got a great channel as well about selling stuff online. That's what I call our industry, just selling stuff online, because we have drop shippers, we have resellers who are flipping items, we have people who are doing wholesale drop shipping, wholesale, like sending into Amazon FBA. But all we're doing really at the end of the day is selling stuff online. That's the umbrella term for our industry. We sell stuff online. Okay, let's see. Forex says, I got permanently banned from eBay. Want to start selling again, but with every new account I get banned. What should I do? I don't know the reason you've been banned. That really matters. But I will tell you that if your eBay account has been banned, you're not going to be able to start a new account the traditional way. You're not going to be able to just go on your computer and start a new eBay account, because eBay will link them together and they'll ban that account as well. So that's why I asked, like, why were you originally banned? Because you need to get that account back. It's hard to get an account permanently banned. Like I was talking about before, if you live outside the United States and you're trying to start an eBay account in the US, you're kind of playing with fire. It's a lot easier to get your eBay account shut down because they're afraid of fraud. But if you're here based in the United States, you're setting up an eBay account, everything should go smoothly unless there's something. I mean, the two most vulnerable times is one, when you set up the account. If you do anything sketchy, like I've seen, like, one thing I tell people don't do, if you use a VPN, like NordVPN, don't have that on when you're setting up your eBay account, because all those IP addresses that those commercial VPNs use, like Nord, they use the same IP addresses over and over again. eBay knows what they are. If they see that, it's like sketchy to them. They don't like it. So there's a chance they'll shut down your account if you're using a VPN while you're setting up, like a commercial VPN like that, while you're setting up your eBay account. It gets a little sketchy to them. Yeah, but generally, if you're in the United States, you're going to be fine. Omar says, lifestyle or review images are definitely better than the white background stock images. That's what I prefer. So when you're listing up products, there's a bunch of images. Some of them will show it like being used, like a bookshelf in a house with books on it. I like those images, but it also has images where it's a white background, more like a stock image. I like the ones that show it in the setting. I have not seen this with Fulfilled by AutoDS or heard about this, Raider. I would definitely reach out to their support and ask them what's going on, why it's taking so long. I'm really stuck with which supplier to choose for my eBay US dropshipping business. Start with Walmart. I suggest every beginner starts with Walmart. You can always branch out from there, but it's the easiest to learn. It's going to have the least headaches. So that's where I would start. cash on delivery while drop shipping. It is possible to do that with wholesale, but I don't mess around with that. I just pay credit cards right away. Yeah, I just find it easier, streamline the business. Like I said, we're not really seeing eBay flag accounts, or if they do, it's not really having as big of an impact on sales as it used to. I've used Walmart, Home Depot, no issues. The one that was really the problem was Amazon, but they seem to kind of ease back on penalizing people for using Amazon. My buyer received their item, left positive feedback, but eBay still thinks they're being shipped. Make sure you have a tracking number uploaded. Make sure it's a valid tracking number. If it is, then it should be fine. It should update in the system. U4 is here. All right. Just going to scroll down to the bottom real quick. See if there's any. Who was your inspiration for drop shipping when you first started, says Christopher? That's a good question. I mean, when I first started, there was a couple of people on YouTube talking about it, but not a lot. My inspiration was actually from a podcast. There's a podcast I used to listen to called, oh gosh, what was the name of it? The guy who hosted it, his name is Johnny FD. Something Like a Boss. Something Like a Boss podcast. Travel Like a Boss podcast is what it was called. And the whole idea of the podcast was businesses that you can run while traveling full time. So he had on a bunch of entrepreneurs. I listened to like all of them. I was trying to think of ideas. He had someone on who's doing eBay drop shipping. That was the first time I'd heard about it, and that was my inspiration for it. And I kind of listened to that. I was like, oh, this makes sense. I like this. Low overhead, lower risk. Let me try it out. So that was the inspiration that I had, kind of what drove me to actually try this myself. And yeah, 5 or 6 years later, here I am. All right, guys, so that is all I have time for today. Thanks for all the great questions everyone asked. We do this every single Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to come back for next week's Q&A. Thanks so much to everyone for hanging out, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.